Okay. So yeah, so this is what I was saying, that the last shot that we took, or the SPX use that we did, was here, and our anticipation on that day was that this five wave is completing. We got a new high, we shot it, but our expectation was that we'll get a dip at that particular time, to back to 5765 or lower. That's all what we were asking for, but we never got that for, I think, 3 or 4 days, almost, that we waited, and we started losing interest on the shots, and at least I started losing interest on the shots, and I started covering up anything that we had, right? And today's expectation was that if there has been no catalyst and no sell off, then probably this was a third wave completion, and this is still doing A, B, C, and probably we'll get a pop. And we were not looking at a drop into the next level, which is 5764 or 5763, something like that, that we were kind of targeting in the middle of the day. That below 5800, that's where it can bounce, and it did bounce back to test the resistance, which is 5800 or 5806 again, right? Which is something now that if it has to turn bullish again, it has to go above that. But what I want to call out here is the overall difference between SPX and QQQ. Now, let me just delete this for a second and remove all of those indicators as well, so that's very clear. Um, Now, if you want to count this whole drop, you can drop, and I was trying to share this during the midday as well, that this could be wave one, this could be two, this could be three, and 5800 resist, and you get one more low as a five, right? And you can count it because we had this one low, lower high, another low, another lower high, another lower high, right? So it could be a leading diagonal one, then you had a two, three, four, and five. So this is something that we have to watch for tomorrow for sure, right? But what if this does not happen, and this starts to kind of dip a little and then just start moving up, right? Of course, then this is not a five wave down, which means the top did not really happen here, and this is simply a correction, which was a three wave correction with A, B, and C, and now we are going up again, right? So how we will go up again? Again, it's gonna be a little bit of maybe this is a 1 2, maybe we'll get a little bit of higher 1 and 2. We buy the dip. Once this is invalid to be a 4, we buy the dip and we ride it to the top again, right, for a new high. Now, how this thing is related to QQQ and what I was saying. So now, when you look at this dip where I've marked 3 and try to or measure this move, it exactly came at 161%. 1 second, is it that marked at the, no, it's not marked at the right point. There is, here it is, the starting point, right? And here is my 2. So it came almost at 161% and just bounced from there, right? Or a little more than it actually did, a little more than 160, which is good. I mean, that's what we want, that the wave 3 should be at least tagging the 161% extension. Beyond that is just fine as well, no problem, right? So that happened. It all looks good. So, tomorrow, whether the wave 4 happens or we start invalidating that and start building up for the next move up, right? So that's a clear part. And why I think that the up move is still pending is just because the Qs, if you look at Qs were nowhere close to making that five wave impulse sort of a pattern, right? So if even if we had this first wave as five waves down, what we got was a chop ABC of some sort, right? And after that, it did not go to 161%. It barely, I think, did 100% move here, if you see, around somewhere around there, right? So somewhere around 100%. The sell should have been aggressive enough. If the top was in, then we should have gone below 484, probably should have gone close to 479. That did not happen, and it is almost invalidating for this to be a impulse move or formation of an impulse move, because we already are kind of bouncing, after hours here, right? So this becomes what this becomes. This becomes just a standard ABC. Now, it cannot be that SPY has started the correction and the QQQs hasn't. So I'll simply be concluding this that okay, this is an ABC. It in SPX terms, it did certainly went below our level of 5800. It tagged the lower level, which is not what we expected, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a very corrective drop. Now, if this is a corrective drop of ABC, how does it fit in into the overall picture here, right? That's another larger key point that you kind of need to understand, right? We know that we have been forming a wedge if we just go from this lows, right? So we had this big high, corrected about 50%, made another move, corrected, made another move, and we kind of have a momentum stuck here, right? So if this is corrective move, and this was my five waves, this was my five waves, then what I'm looking at are five waves, or this could be an ABC as well. If I start marking it as this is ABC. Another one is ABC as well. Somewhere here, A, B, and C, like this. All what we are doing is just making some sort of a diagonal here. If you see, whether we want to call it in 5 5 5, there are ending diagonals which happens in 5 5 5 as well, as long as 4 is not overlapping, but 4 did overlap with the 1, so ABC is fine as well, right? So uh, all what I'm saying here is that if this is my 1 2 3, and since this is corrective, this could be a completion of a 4, and all what we are left with is one high here where it kind of breaches this high once, tag another high of 506, 510, somewhere around that during the earnings, and this is where the correction can start. If you're with me till now, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pause and take any questions here before I move further. Let me see if there is some chat either. Okay, all right. So if you're with me, so this is QQQ, and we'll zoom out even further out as well to kind of look into the broader view. But for now, let's say this theory is correct, and we have this as a diagonal. I'm not calling it as an ending diagonal right now, or a leading diagonal right now, because both means two various different things, right? If it's an ending diagonal, then we are looking for a huge correction coming after this one. If this is a leading diagonal, then it could be just another wave one formation as together all wave one formation, and then there are more highs to come, right? So wave one formation, wave two, and then we will keep on going, right? So that's the difference between the leading and the ending diagonal. But all what I'm saying right now is just let's consider it as a diagonal. And the reason I'm saying that let's consider it as a diagonal, because you would see many sort of counts where people are right now nesting quite a bit. One, two, one, two, one, two. I don't know if that is gonna play out with how much where we are in different situations with so much of kind of drama which is gonna happen in the next 3 4 weeks. I don't want to be in the 1 2 1 2 preparation stuff. I want to still stay very low on the positions on the long side, but we do not have short as of now. So at the new highs, it will certainly give us some opportunity to get into the short if this kind of plays out, right? But we'll have to be very cautious and make sure the stocks are aligning and all that kind of stuff, right? But this is a theory that I think works well for now, that we are in a kind of a diagonal. As I said, once this five wave completes, and this starts reversing back, this trades breaks this support back to here into the 495. Let's say it goes to 510, 495. It is certainly a short. You cannot keep just doing nesting and nesting and nesting and nesting and say, oh, the wave 3 is gonna be just very sharp, clearing up all these nesting and move up, right? So that's not the way I will approach this. So I'll keep it at this. Now look at SPX as well. SPX is nowhere different, right? So if you now apply the same thing here, that this was a corrective action that we got today, probably completed the wave 4 again. So we have this 1 2 right? 3 was completed here when we shorted. We got this wave 4 retracement, and what we are looking for is a wave 5 up again, right? Again into the similar area of 5900, can be a few points higher, let's say 5950, or wherever 5930 or somewhere around that, right? So somewhere above 5900, this again will be a leading diagonal. Now there is no way I'm looking at this as 1 2 1 2 1 2 and then zoom. Oh yeah, we get a 500 points rally after that, after election, right? That's not how I'm gonna position myself. Whatever happens after election is something. But the point to note is that if this goes here and starts coming back, that all those 1 2 1 2 validations will go away, right? Because then, folks may say, "Oh, yeah, this is 1 2 now," and go up and kind of stuff, right? But what we are gonna consider right now, or if we go with SPXUs again, this is where I'm gonna take my next shot. And now, coming to the broader picture, whether this is another just a 1 2 altogether as a leading, coming back to 60% or 50% of the discount zone here. Let's see where it comes. If it goes to 5930 or something like that, your 61% is around 5400, and the 50% would be somewhere around 5500, right? So between these zones, even if there is more rallies to happen after this and it doesn't go into any deeper correction, then we are looking at least coming back down to, I would say, 5500 before further rallies can ignite from here, going further, right? And that's a leading diagonal story. But if this is an ending diagonal of this wave 3, because you can see how many overlaps do we have here, right? I mean, there is no easy way to count it right now. If you see that the rallies kind of stop in between and there are big dips, and then we are kind of rallying in the or moving in a kind of a wedge here, or the ending wedge here, right? So cannot just keep moving it higher and higher. At least this wave 3, which has been going on since October of 2023, this has to come to an end, right? So if this, let's say, was my wave 1 here, wave 2, and this is 1 2 3 4 5, then this 3, which is marked right here, is no, not that 3 actually. So this will mark another 3 wave here after this as an ending diagonal of the 3. Then the correction that I'm looking for can be deeper. It may not be 5500, may not be 5400, but may come somewhere lower in this range, somewhere around 53ish hundred or something like that, and we can measure how much 23 to 38% can look like if, let's say, this. Let me first delete these levels. Just clear out the chart a little bit. Yeah, so looking at that 3 completion, it completes there. Your 23% will be at 5400, same level, and 38% will be around 5131, like I was saying, right? So highly likely, once we go here, it's an opportunity to go short above 5900, 5920, 30, wherever, build our SPXU position again. Bare minimum, we are looking at coming back down to maybe the first leg could be 5650. But this correction may lead up to that 5500 if this is like a sub-nested 1 2, or at least come down to 5400, right? It's a minimum target that we will achieve. Anything below that will be a very good opportunity where this kind of post election doesn't start any rallies immediately, and this kind of becomes an ABC and give us 5131 as well into the quarter 1 of next year, before there could be an igniting rally which can move it and take it any further. So this is what I am looking at, hypothetically, like when I was just chatting with you guys. This is what makes sense as of today, and all what we need to look for in the next 4 or 5 trading days is that we get that new high as we get into that earning season or the earning week for Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and all that kind of stuff, right? So all the big earnings next week. I think this is where we will have a very good opportunity to get into the shorts. We have few longs still on NVO and other things. Only few TLT and NVO, I guess. We'll see where we get an opportunity to get out of them, and the stocks, which are mostly my long-term holds and cryptos and all that, I'm pretty much okay to keep them, but at least build a hedge on at this area with the SPX and maybe some puts based on how the IV looks like after election. Maybe we go into December or so. We'll see about that. But this is what kind of is what I was thinking, which I wanted to share. So I'll just take a pause again here again and see if you guys have any question. All right, good deal. So on the another NDX, I mean, you kind of just need to map it with what I said on QQQ. I mean, that's not gonna be any. Oh, you're talking about the correction, I guess. So if we are looking at this four, let's measure where that four is gonna be somewhere around. I think this three can complete here with a minor high from here, right? And then we are looking at the corrections. I think the first important level, or at least an important level to reach back, would be around 18,349. And post that, we are looking at this area where we had this last step around 17,465, and the last level for this wave four would be around around this one, right? So what we are looking at overall here is something like this, that this was my 1 2, probably a 3 4, and we are completing a 5 here, and this may be finishing my wave 3, and then we have this long subdued wave 4 where things are gonna get a little bit messy, and before the further rally starts, something like that. So this is what we will be looking at for NDX, and let's talk about IWM a little bit. So again, I mean, here also we were talking about an ending wedge forming, and what I see today on IWM, like we were looking at this wedge formation, and I was saying that it's hard to probably get above the supply. And right now, what I've got on IWM is a 5 wave jump. If you see 1 2 3 4 and 5, right? All what we need to see now, that while others may make a new high, IWM possibly should not be crossing above 224 back again, right? So from 224, if that happens, then the path of reversal happens, that there is no breakout right now, and this whole thing is coming to end, whether it was an ending diagonal or something of ABC of some sort, something like that. But the key area still remains that if this 5 wave is a start of the new downtrend, then 224 should not, 224, 225 should not be crossed, which was our previous level as well. And then we'll see, probably while others are correcting for the levels that I shared on SPX to either 5,400, 5,300, or lower, then IWM can certainly give us the levels that we were looking at, back into these 195. So this whole move that happened since October can be retraced a bit. Lower the better. 190, 195 is a good area. From there, the next leg up can start. I mean, that kind of is what I was looking at from the IWM perspective. Well, that was it. I mean, that's what I wanted to share. So we uh, let's see what happens in the next couple of days, if this theory has to be right. Then one, of course, we are looking at a new high, which I think is pretty clear, at least looking from what happened in QQQ. From the drop perspective, very small drop, like I said. So a new high is certainly coming, and once we get this new high, I'm certainly going to take the shots there again. And yeah, and yeah, we'll see what happens from there. That's kind of about it. Any other questions that we have? Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you so very much. Then I'll post the recording for the others who couldn't join. But let's keep a watch. Let's see what happens. Cool. Thank you, everyone.